Look, I get it. Another Trump removal video. You've heard this before. Nothing happened. I thought the same thing until 3 hours ago when something crossed my desk that I've never seen in 40 years of studying American politics. I'm putting my reputation on the line tonight. If what I'm about to tell you doesn't happen within 72 hours, screenshot this video and remind me I was wrong, because I've never been more certain about anything in my career. An emergency session of Congress has just been called. But this isn't political theater. This is a constitutional crisis. And your bank account is about to feel it. Here's what most people don't understand. While you were sleeping last night, your 401k lost $2,000. Not because of inflation or unemployment, because global investors are fleeing a country where the president can ignore the Constitution. This morning, I issued a public statement that sent shockwaves through every major financial market on Earth. I've never done that before. Not during the 2008 crash. Not during COVID. Never. That alone should tell you how serious this moment is. Don't take my word for it. Right now, call the congressional switchboard at 2012-43121. Ask them if there's an emergency session tonight. Ask them about the constitutional crisis. See what they tell you. I'll wait while you make that call, because what you're about to discover will change how you see everything happening in Washington. Let me walk you behind the closed doors where this entire crisis really began. 3 weeks ago, Donald Trump attempted to reroute $47 billion in congressionally authorized funding without permission. Not $1 million, not $100 million. $47 billion. These were dollars legally assigned to specific programs. Trump tried to funnel them into his border wall and mass deportation agenda instead. This wasn't a policy disagreement. This was a direct assault on the Constitution. Article 1, Section 9 is crystal clear. No money leaves the Treasury unless Congress approves it. Trump ignored that. He moved billions anyway. When Congress pushed back, he didn't negotiate. He shut down the government. For 3 weeks, America has been frozen. Passport offices locked, Social Security claims unprocessed, federal workers unpaid. But here's what changed everything. On October 26th, federal judge Sarah Morrison issued an emergency ruling that detonated like a bomb in Washington. She called Trump's actions a flagrant violation of the Appropriations Clause and constitutionally indefensible. Trump's response: he attacked the judge. He said the courts have no authority over him. He claimed he could redirect funds no matter what Congress or the judiciary says. That's not a president operating inside the Constitution. That's a president declaring himself above it. And that's why I had to speak up. Because what most Americans don't understand is that markets only thrive when laws are respected. American markets aren't valuable because of our land or resources. They're valuable because the world believes in our institutions, our courts, our rule of law. Strip away that trust, and trillions of dollars in market value disappear overnight. This isn't just a constitutional fight anymore. It's a direct threat to America's economic future. While we've been focused on domestic drama, Putin called an emergency meeting 2 hours ago. Xi Jinping just moved Chinese markets to emergency protocols. They know something we're just beginning to understand. America's constitutional collapse is their greatest strategic opportunity. This disaster has reached a breaking point inside the Republican Party. The moment Trump moved that $47 billion without permission, the GOP was forced into an impossible position. Defend the Constitution or defend Trump. Reports from October 23rd showed just how ugly things got behind closed doors. Trump exploded at Republican senators who questioned his authority. He called Senator Susan Collins' compromised proposal treasonous backstabbing. He publicly declared that she was worse than the Democrats, and he didn't say this privately. He blasted it out on Truth Social for the world to see. That announcement sent fear ripping through the GOP, because if Trump could turn on Collins, he could turn on anyone. This isn't the first time he destroyed Jeff Sessions when Sessions recused himself from the Russia investigation. He turned on Bill Barr after Barr said there was no evidence of mass voter fraud. He let his supporters threaten Mike Pence on January 6th and stayed silent for hours. The pattern is always the same. Loyalty to Trump lasts only as long as you're useful to him. Now, the same spotlight is burning Senate moderates. They're trying to defend Trump's policy goals while still defending the Constitution. But Trump sees compromise as weakness, as betrayal, so they're trapped. Then the unthinkable happened. Mitch McConnell broke from Trump's position. When a political strategist of McConnell's caliber walks away, it sends a message that reverberates through every Republican office in Washington. Trump has become a liability to his own party. But none of that compares to the bombshell legal development. Judge Morrison's ruling didn't just slap Trump on the wrist. It declared his actions an outright abuse of executive power. When legal scholars on both the left and the right start using words like clear violation and constitutionally indefensible, that's when the country needs to understand just how dangerous the situation has become. Because this showdown isn't only about Trump. It's about the survival of the system that has held America together for nearly 250 years. Congress isn't just meeting to discuss the shutdown. They're meeting to decide whether Donald Trump should be immediately removed from office for violating his constitutional oath. This is no longer a budget standoff. This is a question of whether a president can simply ignore the Constitution whenever it becomes inconvenient. The political fallout is already beginning. Trump's approval ratings are slipping. Moderates in the GOP are panicking ahead of the 2026 midterms. The Republican Party is split right down the middle. The MAGA base demanding total loyalty and constitutional conservatives begging for a return to rules and governance. Democrats have never been handed political ammunition this powerful. Every candidate in every speech from now on will say the same thing. Donald Trump believes he is above the Constitution, and they'll have a federal judge's ruling to back it up. If this case reaches the Supreme Court, Chief Justice John Roberts will face the moment he spent his entire career trying to avoid, the court colliding head-on with raw partisan warfare. If the court sides with Trump, it rewrites the presidency into something dangerously close to a monarchy. If it rules against him, Trump will attack the court itself, dragging the judiciary into the political battlefield. No matter which way it goes, America's institutions take heavy damage, but there's one element that no one in Washington can control: the markets. Investors aren't loyal to politicians. They're loyal to stability. They pour money into countries where laws are predictable, where contracts are honored, where the courts command respect. If America becomes a place where the president can act without restraint, where court rulings can be ignored, where spending can happen by decree, global capital will vanish faster than any recession in history, because capital goes where it feels safe. And right now, thanks to Trump's conflict with Congress and the courts, America doesn't feel safe. I've been through every crisis in modern financial history. Black Monday in 1987. If the United States allows the Constitution to be pushed aside, the markets will collapse, not by panic, but by logic, because no investor will risk their future in a country where a president can rewrite the law on a whim. This is why I'm going on record right now. If Congress doesn't act within 72 hours to address this constitutional crisis, we will see the largest capital flight in American history. Your retirement accounts, your home values, your Social Security, all of it depends on foreign confidence in American institutions. Here we are. Congress is gathering for an emergency session. Federal judges are being challenged. Wall Street is holding its breath. And every American, whether they realize it or not, is sitting in the middle of the most important constitutional fight in living memory. Don't just watch this happen. Call your representative right now. The congressional switchboard is 2022-321. Ask them one simple question. Do you support the Constitution or not? Their answer will tell you everything about America's future. The next 72 hours will decide everything. Will Republicans finally defend the Constitution instead of defending Trump? Will the courts hold firm against political pressure? Will Congress remove a president who violated his oath? Or will America allow the limits on presidential power to collapse forever? This moment is bigger than Donald Trump, bigger than the 2026 elections, bigger than party loyalty. This moment asks a question that will define the future of the United States. Is the Constitution still the highest authority in America, or is the president? History is being written right now, and the world is watching to see whether the nation that built its power on the rule of law can survive a president who believes he's above it. I'm putting everything on the line with this analysis. If I'm wrong about what happens in the next 72 hours, screenshot this video, share it everywhere. Remind everyone that John Mearsheimer was completely wrong about the most important constitutional crisis of our lifetime. But if I'm right, if Congress moves toward removal proceedings, if the markets crash, if constitutional order hangs in the balance, then remember this moment, because this could be the end, not just of a presidency, but of the constitutional order that made America what it is. The clock is ticking. America's future hangs in the balance, and your phone call to Congress might be the one that saves the Constitution.